Single Tuesday, we are so lucky and so blessed to be joined by the best in the business, and that is the legend herself, Coach Kim Mulkey, right here on the cusp of the tournament basketball coming to Baton Rouge. Coach Mulkey, what's going on? How we feeling this Tuesday morning?
We're hanging in there. Still got a little respiratory deal going on, but, life goes on. How are y'all?
We're doing well. Doing well. Coach, missed you last week. We were both on vacation. I don't know if you have many of those or get to do many of those, but I haven't got to talk to you since I was at my daughter's Louisiana Day play for the first grade over there at U-High. We're here at U Club for the U-High golf tournament. But in the play, they have everybody dress up as prominent Louisiana figures and cultures. And what did you think about the video I sent you of Lil Coach Kim and Lil Simone Augustus?
Well, I thought it was precious. I've gotten a lot of videos lately. They had another school, Bob, during Mardi Gras that did a Mulkey Kids float, and all these kids were in this float dressed with all the stuff I wear. So it makes you feel, I don't know, special, I guess. It's just sweet to see young people that follow women's basketball and their parents just put them in a position to learn a little bit more about this game. But it's cute, and I loved it.
And again, it's incredible because, beyond championships and whatnot, you are inspiring the next generation. But let's talk about championships and whatnot. You've always been very upfront about your goals for the conference tournament, and it's mainly to do enough and to get out of it health-wise. Do you feel like you accomplished both goals?
Well, under the circumstances, yes. And let me just clarify. Anybody that's a competitor when you play, man, you're playing to win. And I've been doing these conference tournaments for years, and I've always been nervous. And I've won, I don't know, T-Bob, 12, 13 conference tournament championships. So I go to win. Please understand that. But you hold your breath also, because I've also been in those tournaments where significant players get injured and they're not able to play in the NCAA tournament. So I've always questioned, when a committee sits in a room, how important is a conference tournament versus a regular season?
Yeah.
And
true.
I think conference tournaments should never be more important. But I think where we are now with the way they do committee seeding, when you have teams that are close, they really use those to give them a higher seed, and I'm not sure if that's fair either. What I do know is we went to the SEC tournament. Of course, I was out all week with a death in the family. Flage, everybody knew, was not going to play in that conference tournament. It's not that important for her to go out there and continue to hurt. And so you're still asking your team, next man up, next coach up, go win a game, and they did that. Now, I don't know how much people realize what we did against Texas without Flage, without Faro, when Michaela played very few minutes because of foul trouble. And for us to go and really, really go toe-to-toe with, at that time, the number one team in the country, I'm not into moral victories, but our kids fought like hell to win that ball game.
And, Coach, what can you, take from that? Because you mentioned, there's players that you're going to be counting on here coming up in the NCAA tournament that kind of had to step up. What kind of benefits can that give you when you have players that have to play against the number one team in the country? They play pretty well, and they get that experience.
Well, it gives me confidence in them because they now have that confidence. And I saw a lot from young people that maybe I didn't see throughout the year because Flage was available or Michaela was, so they're not on the floor. So you learn a little bit more about them. So, it was just good to see. And I made sure after that game that, there's no moral victory. That's not what I play for. But you do learn in losses. I've said that many times. If you don't learn in losses, then you're gonna lose again, and you're gonna make the same mistakes. And I learned a lot about my team under the circumstances we were playing.
Well, yeah, and I know in the post game you're kind of asked about maybe a lack of offense from your team, but you kind of point out, well, look, we held Texas to 56 points defensively, right? So, like, I'd say our defense is a defensive game. Our defense is pretty damn good as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got two coaches that stress defense. I mean, every time we play each other, it's going to be an ugly game because it's going to be a defensive battle. So I'm like, yeah, we struggled, but that team plays defense. But guess what? That's the number one team in the country, and they only scored 7 more points than we did.
Yeah. So now it's tournament time, Coach. Basketball coming to Baton Rouge assuredly, no matter what the seed ends up being. And that's the kind of overall goal. You are someone whose tournament resume speaks for itself. What are your kind of biggest questions, concerns, strengths as you prepare for another one of these win or go home tournaments that make college basketball so special?
First thing I'd like to say is thank you to LSU administration for recognizing and making sure that calendar is open and that gym is available for us to host. That is not a given. Do you realize this will be the 4th year that we will host, and that goes to the top 16 seeds out of the 68, 72, ever how many go to the tournament now, and we get to do that. And that's special.
Yep.
And the reason it's special, it is a reward for what you have done, your body of work all year. And we're going to get one of those. Had we won out and Flage, is playing and we done it, we would have been a 2 seed regardless. So now we might be a 3 seed. So be it.
Yep.
And what you get to do is you get to play in front of your home crowd. Now they set it up not like you're going to have an advantage because you only get so many seats here and the other teams have to have so many seats, but you're also, it's fresh, it's new, and you're not seeing anyone in the SEC. You're going to see teams from other conferences. And so that's exciting. And then if you win 2 games, which are not easy, you win 2 games, you're going to go to Spokane or Birmingham. We're not going to Birmingham because your SEC top 2 seeds are going to go there, and they're not going to put you in the same region. So we're going to go to Spokane is my prediction, and we'll see a Big Ten team, whether it's USC or UCLA. Last year we were in Albany, New York, and ended up in the Elite 8, losing to Iowa. So it's exciting. It's do or die, and get your tickets because it's not going to be cheap. NCAA takes over, and they charge a certain amount for each ticket. But we, for 4 years straight now, get to do that.
And, Coach, you've been through this so many times. After a conference tournament, you're getting ready for the NCAA tournament, so you know the blueprint and the map of how you want to get things done. But does it ever change, like with this LSU team, right? You mentioned getting healthy, and you've got some players that were able to get some extra rest. Like, is that the goal this year, and does that goal kind of change of what you want to get done before you actually find out who the opponent is?
Well, we always, after the conference tournament, you take a few days off, and then you come back, and for 3 or 4 days, we'll start back tomorrow, and we will work on us. We'll get up and down the floor Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe scrimmage the guys a little bit and just, stay in that flow, stay in that rhythm. One day it may be all defense. One day it may be all offense. Call out quick hitters. Call out plays. Keep their mind fresh. And then on Sunday, which is when the selection show is, we won't go that day. And we'll have a selection show little party there in the PMAC and watch it together with the public. And then as soon as that selection show is over and you see who you play, my coaches go to work. They get in the office and they all start trying to find film and as much as they can on the opponent. And then come Monday and Tuesday, the NCAA's here and they tell you what days you can be on the floor and so it's not like we're going to just be on the floor after that. when we want our regular practice time. We have to follow the same guidelines as the other 3 schools.
So, again, like Coach said, regardless, more basketball coming to the PMAC. So, pack it out. Do what you can with the allotted tickets, everything else, and make it hard for the other team. Cheer on this Tiger team. 4th year in a row, you get tournament action in the PMAC. Coach, we cannot thank you enough for waking up with us. I know you're not feeling well. You're the absolute best, and we will talk to you next week.